What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 28th episode of the Envision Game Podcast. I'm your host, Braz Gaming, and as always, I'm joined by Clonish Joe
Hello, everyone.
and Triple Bravo.
Howdy, folks.
So, question of the week that we have for you guys is, what is your favorite film adaptation of a video game? And partially doo-doo because...
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo. We had the Witcher come out. Actually, it was yesterday it released.
Yeah,
from when we're
yesterday.
recording. Yeah, so a lot of people pretty hyped, including my wife. Actually, she's watching it right now.
Oh, wow.
And
Dude, get out of here. Bring her in. Where's Bethany when we need her?
yeah. I told her, I'm like, I can't tell them this because they're gonna be like, no, you got to go watch it with them. And I'm not watching it without her, so.
Well,
I'll-
she's
I'll
watching it
wait
without you.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I will probably watch it at some point, but I'm one of those weird people, like, I want it to be done. I don't want to film
I'm the same way. But
Oh,
they
yeah.
released a whole season, and I just binge it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already done, and
'Cause
I started
then-
watching it at 10 o'clock last night.
So what with what you said, you were like, oh, I gotta wait 2 years for it to, let's just say that happens. I will forget, which means I then have to waste even more of my time rewatching season 1 and 2 to remember what happened
All
for
right,
season 3.
here's a counterpoint to that, okay? You
Yes.
get to relive the show again in 2 years when another season comes out, right?
Or a counterpoint to the counterpoint. They give you a nice recap before the season starts.
No.
10 minutes gives you all the key points you need to know.
Best recap is rewatching the whole show.
Agreed. But
I
second
watched-
best recap.
I watched Breaking Bad all the way through twice, except for the last 3 episodes. I couldn't finish it the first time I watched it through, and I was like, yeah, I gotta stop. I like this show so much, I don't want to know the ending. And then
That's So
yeah.
I refuse to beat Demon Souls because of the same thing. I don't
Yeah.
want the Souls games to be over.
Because you come back in a couple years and you're like, I don't know the very
How
end.
it is.
Like,
But I do know because I watched speedruns, so
Yeah.
Well, is Elden Ring technically a Souls game?
no.
It's a Souls-like.
I'm done here.
It checks quite a few of the boxes that...
It checks
Ma-
all the boxes besides having Souls in the name.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's Elden Ring.
It doesn't say it's made by the same developer, but it doesn't say Souls name. It's not Souls game, and and it has the same gameplay.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's not make this an episode
Sekiro
about...
a Souls game?
Mm,
Back to the question of the week. Brad,
yes,
your answer for the week.
I have one because I am correct here. I didn't choose numerous. It says favorite film, not films or TV shows. It's just one. I choose Silent Hill because I think Silent Hill is absolutely phenomenal, and I've watched
First or
it.
second one?
The first one, of course. Who likes the second one? To be honest here.
All right.
Who likes it more than the first one?
All right. Less
He's like,
hands.
I can't.
I mean, in some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
Yeah. Okay, Silent Hill 2's, well, the second movie, excuse me, has some things that I do think are redeemable, worth watching, but it's definitely a one-time through because it's such a cluster that I
It
can't.
is. It's definitely like I don't want to
think
say the
they're-
worst overall film because I rate them pretty equally, but it has better visual effects that make it interesting to me as opposed
This
to the
is
first one.
how. Bravo, have you ever seen the second movie?
Yeah.
Silent Hill movie? Okay. So this is how
And I
do it.
think
Silent
Heather's
Hill,
an interesting character.
so Silent Hill 1, pretty, I would say, pretty solid overall. Yes, obviously it's not going to be as amazing as some stuff, but I really enjoy it. Plus, it's got the little sprinkling of Silent Hill in it, so gets a little plus in that category, right? Silent Hill 2, it's like they were like, "Ooh, we got to make a sequel to this." director's like, all right, I'm gonna do some coke real quick, and I'll be right back.
That is a pretty good rendition.
And he's
of
like,
it.
how much can we fit into an hour and 50? He's like, I'm gonna do another line of coke real quick, and I'll tell you. And yeah, that's how I view Silent Hill, the second movie, Revelations, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Delicious. Okay.
All right, bravo. Let's
right.
hear your plethora.
Book.
No, it's the nominees. Okay.
The nominees are every video game adaptation that's ever been created.
Definitely not.
Why don't I
Okay.
see Assassin's Creed on there?
Because that's garbage. So you've got in no particular order, you've got The Witcher, Arcane, Detective Pikachu, Silent Hill, Mortal Kombat, the first movie, Doom, and Super Mario Bros. And I gotta give it to Doom because I really like the game, and I don't want any crap from either of you about the kind of game or show that is. They opened up, well, actually, they showed trailers with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being all about that movie. And have you guys seen the movie?
I stopped watching it.
Okay.
Never.
Okay, well,
I've seen the trailer.
Well, yeah. So they open up with the movie, and The Rock is doing his thing, and he dies within like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then the B character, the nobody, is like, oh man, like it's my turn now, and you follow him around. It's great, rip and tear.
The only thing I know about is they have like a first person scene in it, and that was the cool effect.
And if you don't like the rip and tear stuff, I'd probably give a runner up to Super Mario Bros. Because it's a good film. Okay, it is. Joe, what about you?
Chris Pratt gets his hands on it.
There's somebody doing some coke right there. Like, guys, what if we had Chris Pratt play Mario? Hey, but the guy that plays Mario isn't dead. Like the voice actor is still alive. Yeah. But it's Chris Pratt
and Bowser. I can't even remember who they made Bowser.
and Toad is Keegan Michael Key from.
That is a weird.
What is it? Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong?
Yeah, I don't know what.
It's live action?
No.
Oh, all right. Because I was gonna say, what if it's live action? Like, what are they gonna do? Just like.
Well, actually, I don't know.
Make his head like floaty
Nobody
and
knows.
Feet
We just know who's in it.
It's provocative. That's all they care about.
But so I'm gonna start off with my worst video game film adaptation with Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh,
yeah.
But the best are between Arcane, The Witcher, and Silent Hill. Although I really did like the old Resident Evil movies, but I liked them not for being Resident Evil, just being their own thing. But overall, Arcane is probably my favorite currently. But The Witcher is really making a run for being my favorite show, period, of all time. Obviously, I've played the games, haven't finished any of them, but got some of that background.
They're long.
I started them up.
I started them up about 30 times. The Witcher 3, I play it like at least once every 3 months and make it like one quest shorter each time because I'm like, I'm never going to catch up to where I was that one time.
I always get to that Griffin fight and I'm like,
Yep.
The Griffin
pretty
fight.
cool.
Like, he's pretty cool. I think I should just end it here. This is the final boss. I did
You
it.
barely
After I
even
get out of like the first area and like I get to another area, I'm like, wow, I just did all that work and now I have nothing to show for it.
It's a good ending point. The game's over. I finished it.
You barely even get into the game.
He's a big boss, right? I think he's a big boss.
I also read the books, so I'm like well aware of the changes the show made, but I could sit and look at the show for what it is, being separate within the Witcher lore, and I respect it for what it is, even though Reddit actively hates it. It's the worst thing of all time. In the
Reddit
eyes
hates
of the
everything.
subreddit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's basically the devil in flesh.
Mm.
Yeah, I started to read comments last night. I'm only a couple episodes into the new season of Witcher and started to read comments. I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. Like they're they're gonna like skew my view or something. I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
I just
Speaking of
need
which,
Bravo to
that's
finish
how-
it, so I have someone to talk to.
so that's how they. It just seems like they're that way with everything. I mean, everybody was losing their mind before Last of Us 2 was released because, um, there was like some leaked footage and it was something to do with Abby being, they were like, oh, she's trans, why did they do this, that, whatever, and she's not even trans in the game. It's
Oh,
like they like lost their minds. It's like, yeah, this is why you don't like read stuff out.
yeah. If you're
People lose their
passionate
mind.
about something, just watch it,
Just
play
enjoy
it,
it.
whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
it's strange. But my runner-up, because I want to do it correctly, but my runner-up is Super Hornio Brothers. Let's move on.
What?
Nope.
There's no
Nope.
talking. We just
We're
move
moving
on. We're moving on.
All right.
We'll
Well,
look it up later.
well, best.
Topic
Yeah.
for the week.
Topic for the week. We are doing our year in review. It's kind of like our award show because we thought it'd be fun to go over what we felt.
Disclaimer: it's not only games released this year; it is games we have played during the year.
Yes,
Yeah, 'cause, you know, yeah.
Because your boy here is poor sometimes and doesn't want to buy $60 games all the time. So there'd be a real boring list if I just listed off all the games I played in 2021 that
All
were released in
3 of them.
2021. It'd be like Resident Evil Village on every single thing.
And then Diablo 2.
Yep, Diablo 2 and Super Autobots. But
Wow, you've listed off most of your list there.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers. Don't read too deep into it. But yeah, so we just wanted to do this something fun to kind of commemorate the year also. And you know, because we did like 2 award shows where we went over things, and I think we agreed more with the last one than the what was the other one called that we
The
were
Golden
like, what is-
Joysticks was the first one.
Yes,
and
the
then
Golden
Game
Joystick.
Awards is the
Golden
one I was
Joystick is the
around
one
for.
that we were like,
What
what
is
did they do?
happening?
They made some strange decisions, and then the Game
Yes.
Awards made slightly less strange decisions.
The Game Awards, at least, although I wasn't here, I did watch through it separately from the guys. But at least there was some cool game reveals.
There were cool game reveals, and even honestly, even the rewards, like the awards, I felt were fair.
Yeah.
Like I felt like Game of the Year being It Takes Two. Like at first I didn't even think about it, and then at one I was like, you know what, I'm glad. You know, it felt good.
Yeah,
that's,
it could
like,
go
I'm-
between that or Resident Evil, and I'd be
yeah.
completely fine.
It was, you know, it wasn't like on my list because obviously I didn't play it, but
Yeah.
I
Probably
was
one
like,
I did. Had a really good time. So
but I was
I
glad
get it.
because like, you know, they're a smaller studio. It's not like some massive juggernaut thing. Like it just felt good to see them win. And that guy was, you know, a humble dude. He seems like a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy to see that. Anyways, so let's jump in to our first of our numerous categories.
do.
Yeah. Bravo. Play like every time we're in between categories,
Wave
play
race,
the wave
country
race
music.
config music for me. Okay.
Oh boy.
Just do that for me. So we're starting off with the best narrative.
I've decided I'm
And-
gonna play the wave race music every time you provide your game, like
Every time he
over
talks.
your voice. You'd be like,
Anytime he
and
talks.
my favorite game of the year is.
I feel like it's gonna be it's like the episode when the SpongeBob where they're like swearing and there's like the dolphin speaking.
That's a great idea.
Oh man, but all right, yeah. So we're doing first off. We're gonna start off with best narrative, and I don't know how we want to. We haven't talked about how we want to go through this, but
Yeah, we'll just go through it.
yeah.
Just
Joe,
go through it.
Let's go through.
Pick it at random.
So the best narrative game I played during this year, I'm gonna say hands down, but it's probably closer that I can't think of at the moment. Plague Tale: Innocence was my choice. Brad ended up, peeking in my homework and changing it a little, but
Ooh.
I was gonna pick It Takes Two. That game was phenomenal, and the storytelling was really good. But Bravo left me hanging for like 2 months in between, so I probably lost a little bit of the gist of it. And Plague Tale: Innocence, was a game I played it while we started the podcast, so I talked about it before, but it was one that like actually drug me in, and I haven't had one of those games in quite a bit.
Yeah. Except for that like one small arc where it was kind of dull. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah,
The rest
absolutely.
of it,
But that wasn't narrative like issues. That was gameplay
true.
focus.
I guess I'll just leech onto Joe here a little bit because I chose the same thing. I also just played Tail Innocence. So thing is, I only got halfway through the game, and it's probably a little bit of what Joe's saying because the gameplay of it just starts to fall short and get really repetitive afterwards.
Real fast.
And I was like really loving the game. Like story wise, it was fun. I was actually enjoying the story a bunch. I was even enjoying the combat and the puzzle mechanics, everything. And then it just got to the point where I was like, oh, it's like not doing much here. Like I feel like I'm
If Brad's enjoying puzzles, they're doing something right. Because I've watched this man stare at a piano in Silent Hill for like 3 days.
that was very.
You,
I feel hurt.
You screw up a piano. You screw up a piano once or twice in your life, and they never let it down.
They'll never live it down. And the sad thing is, it's on. You could literally see Joe. I don't know. Did I have the text on?
I don't remember.
You could see me talking to Joe,
and just me laughing,
and because I have the whole playthrough on YouTube, and I'm just like, clunk, clunk.
Also, really excited for Plague Tale Requiem, and I hope they, give us a little more flavor in terms of combat and gameplay.
Yeah, I will. I will probably end up watching a review for that to see if to get an idea and feel for if they added enough changes. If they do, I'll probably pick it up and play it myself.
Yep.
If not,
Amicia, really good character.
Just watch it.
I think they did really good with that game, and the fact that I got it for free and the PS5 version was phenomenal.
Yep. Same for me.
Well, my choice for best narrative is It Takes Two. Drop mic. There you go.
It took me and Bravo.
It takes two people 16 hours to finish that game.
16 hours over about 6 months.
And it was beautiful. It was a ride.
We definitely went. So we like binged the first half of it, and then
we binged the first half, and we were like, "Oh, this is definitely the end. Like, where are you gonna go from here?"
Yeah.
And there was like a whole new arc.
And then there was another chapter. And we're like, "Oh, the game's over right after this."
We're like, "Okay, so this is like an encore level or something." Yeah. Like 2 hours later, we're like, all right, well, we'll come back to this.
3 months go by. We're like, all right, we should just finish it.
Yeah.
And we do another one. We're like, okay, we're at the end. Like, we're just gonna knock out, and then we beat that level.
But it's good. Like it's
really good.
And I learned
the mini games were fun.
Yeah, I learned to love Joe along the way. It was,
Bravo learned he was the reason for the divorce.
We made a little girl cry to try to harvest her tears to make us human. It was crazy.
We, spoiler alert, murdered an elephant brutally.
Oh man, that burns the memory. Anyways, if you haven't played that game, do it. Let's move on to best art direction. Wave Race music plays now.
Ooh, pick me.
You.
Okay, best art direction, without a doubt, not up for debate. Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Literally, we all picked the same thing. So, Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yes.
Prettiest game I've ever seen.
It's a Pixar film. What are you gonna do? Moving on. Best score music. We're doing the speed run now. Best score / music. Let's start with Brad this time.
All right, so I chose Diablo 2 Resurrected because I just have my nostalgia hits me too hard for the music in that game.
Brad, I just want to point out that, like, you could have went with Resident Evil 4's savior music,
Nah.
you know, with the VR edition coming out.
You know, as weird as it sounds, even though I did think about that for 1 second, I didn't think about the music of that. But I'm sticking to my guns, all right?
Yeah.
It's out there. I already put it down. You know, Resident Evil 8's music wasn't as good as the other
No.
Resident Evil games, I didn't feel. And
I don't feel like any of the newer ones have been.
yeah, like even 7 wasn't as great as pretty much 4. Obviously, Resident Evil 2 remake was pretty good.
Yeah, and
But,
the original remake, like
yeah.
remake.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, 3 doesn't do anything for me. Resident Evil 1, the original, Resident Evil 2 original, all those solid. You
Yeah.
know, the music's amazing. But yeah, just like I said, it's strictly a nostalgia thing for me. Like, I literally remember sitting down with my cousin and we would have Diablo 2 up all night and fall asleep to like the music in the chat room playing. And it's just like ingrained into my brain. So
Yeah.
Basically Ocarina to me, so I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I just realized I played Ocarina like a dozen times already. I can pick that for my best music again.
All right, so for my choice, I'd like to run something by you because I don't want to break any rules, okay? But
Are you sure? You're typically pretty good at that.
I have League of Legends down, but I understand that though, like the songs that I'm specifically talking about aren't technically in the game. So if we don't want to count League of Legends,
What songs were you specifically talking about?
so like the Pentakill album that came out
well,
this
you're wrong
year,
because KDA is better.
or
Joe's like, it depends on what album you pick. If you pick the right album, I'll let it slide.
or
So yeah, no, that doesn't count.
yeah, KDA.
If you said KDA, we'd have been fine. But
But if you don't count that, I actually really liked the soundtrack for the Ascent, which it's like cyberpunk synthwave. What's the word for like like it puts you in the mood, you know, like makes you feel like you're like in that like cyberpunk like environment. I don't know. It's just specific kind of music, and it did a really good job making you feel like you were kind of like in that environment, you know?
Fair. Yeah, well, for my best score in music, I'm going with a nice 2021 game as well here. And I chose Halo Infinite. Halo's music has that nostalgia factor for me. And it hasn't changed. And it's still a banger. And even though I'm still mixed on my opinion on Halo Infinite, the music still has a soft spot and makes me
Got
tear
that
up.
opera boy in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, I do.
Yep.
I have a question.
And like
about
the action music, where it like picks up.
Listen, if you did that any longer, we were gonna get copyright straight. Right? You gotta calm down. Here.
So is Halo Infinite, like, is that sound actually different from the old games?
It sounds crisper, but it's basically the same. Like there's probably other music mixed in as well, but I don't really. So most games I play with music off. Halo's one of the few I play with music on. Just because like their music has that nostalgia factor, and whenever you start the fight, it's always the same fight music, and it's just like, oh, time to put on Here I Go Killing again.
Oh boy.
It's really good. Everyone who's played Halo knows exactly the music you're talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's one of those things though, like it's nostalgic because if it's what we were talking about, it's nostalgic because obviously it came out in like 2003, right? Something like
I
that.
think the first one
First
was
one?
like 2000. It might have been 3.
2001.
I
2001 or
feel like it was
2003.
1.
Yeah. Either way, so like it's ingrained, but like when I go to listen to it, like if I make like a soundtrack, I'm like, nah, I can't listen to more than this. I don't know why. I just
2001.
do it.
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't-
like obviously the opera guy, everyone knows that is like the Halo music, but the combat music is where it really stands out to me.
So we can move on to the best performance. And Bravo, how about we start with you here?
All right. Well, it took me a while to find one, but I went ahead and went with the uh, Cutie the elephant from It Takes Two.
He can't even say it with a straight face.
It's a curveball of emotions.
It hurt me emotionally.
Which means it was a really good performance. That's my choice, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. What about you guys?
Brad, you could lead us off this time since I ruined your thunder last time.
Well, the thing is, I don't have a ton to say about it because I haven't actually played the game. I've only watched Joe play it. And it's Jason Kelly, who plays Colt in Deathloop. And you could just tell, like, from even the bit that I've watched of the game, and Maggie, whatever her last name is, who played Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil 8, she ended up winning. But I honestly, like, hats off to her. She obviously did well, but this guy just seems like he's on another level. I don't know what it is about his voice or his performance stuff, but he
just seemed and felt like so authentic and passionate about it. It just made it have that extra bump to me.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is to pinpoint about what specifically in the performance that, puts me over the edge to like be like, this is the best, but I mean, easily one of my favorite performances I've heard, even to date, maybe. It's pretty good.
It's really good. I chose Jason Kelly as well. And I didn't play too much of Deathloop because of the issues I had with the HDR with the PS5. But the chunk I did, he's just like so much emotion in his voice for playing a character, and like just actually feels like, I don't know. I've just never had that experience with like a voice actor in a game before.
Yeah.
And it really stood out to me. So I think he would without a doubt be the best performance, and it's not up for debate.
Powerful words from some powerful people. There you go, folks. Let's move on to. Oh, did you have something else to say?
I was gonna do the same thing you're doing,
buddy.
Oh,
well, why don't you go ahead? You're better at it than me.
I don't know. You're more attractive than.
All right, so moving on to the best ongoing game. Brad, why don't you start us off for this one since you pass it on every other time?
What? All right, so it's my guilty pleasure. I don't even feel good saying it. It's one of those.
You shouldn't.
Things. I don't even like that I like the game. I don't know why I even play it. It's Hearthstone. It's there. Yeah, I play it all the time. Like okay, so I've been playing this since the beta. Okay, I got in pretty early in the beta of Hearthstone. And I was in love with the game early on. And then it just kind of took a little bit of a turn. And we're talking the regular game before the Battlegrounds or anything came out. And for probably 2 years, I remember telling my buddy Jamie, I was like, I'm not gonna do it. This is the year or the expansion. I'm skipping it. Not giving my money.
This every single time, and then like the week before comes, and he's like, "I pre-ordered the expansion."
I pre-ordered both of them too.
And we're just kind of looking, and we're like,
and yep, that's where. And that's the thing.
I know the feel though, because I was the same way with Smite, and then I had to find a new drug to move on to. That's League of Legends.
Here's the thing. I don't feel as bad. Like, I feel like they've been taking the game in a little bit of a better direction for the base game. Like the cards have been a little more fun to mess around with. That's just me. And on top of that, you also have Battlegrounds, which is nice to play too. So it's like it's kind of like 2 games in one. So it's not too terrible for me. I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting long for this. Bravo, give me your best ongoing game here.
Okay, this one, it's got a little bit of a story. Okay, and Joe is the one that introduced me to this, but it's Age of Empires 2. I do not play this game. Okay, but it is such a strange, I don't want to say niche, but like a little Easter egg of gaming that these goofballs
It won't die.
have been playing this game since 1990 something, and it will not die. I looked at the Steam charts for it, and it has never dropped below 20,000 daily players.
It's like outperforming Age of Empires 4.
Age of Empires 4? Yeah, Age of Empires 4, it peaked at like 80,000 people playing it on release. And guess what? It averages 20,000 players. The same goofballs that are playing 2 are playing 4. I promise you. Like, they just jump on it. They play one or the other.
What makes it even funnier is Age of Empires 2 for a while was played through like a separate launcher, like basically a mod for different online play. So you're not even seeing the real amount of like hardcore players.
Yeah. Yeah.
After seeing that, it made me like, dang, why didn't I think of that?
A good
people love their old games. I mean,
yeah.
Especially
I totally
classic
get it.
RTS.
So a good runner up to this is Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars. They it's such a lightweight game, and this is like a classic MMO game where like you have so many different variations of like classes that you can have. Like some people have never even played them, you know. And there's goofballs that still play that thing, and they never leave the tutorial island, the beginner island, because there's so much to do in that game. It's in its class of its own. But I went back and played it again with a friend just to see what the heck was going on, and it doesn't have the traction like Age of Empires, but it's an interesting one. If you played it back in the day, you might go check it out again. But Joe, what's your pick?
Well, the Discord got onto a bit of a hype train with the World Chess Championship between Magnus Carlsen and, I'm probably going to butcher the name, but Jan Nepomniachtchi. And so we ended up getting into chess. And when I say we, I mean like literally everybody that's a regular here in the Discord has hopped on the chess.com train in some way, shape, or form, whether it be Brad playing against the 200 level bots
talking about this here.
or Bravo and I just binge watching Gotham chess, learning as much as we can, and hanging our queen with the good old Botez Gambit.
Gotham Chess is such a great chess commentator. Like he gets so excited about like the various different like named plays and this and that. Like it's so funny.
It's also like awesome that he puts like a game that most people don't really care about that much into like such a fun and interactive way.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's amazing, but obviously chess is ancient at this point, and it's still like constantly player base is growing, especially with the shutdown across the world over the past few years. Chess hit like an all-time high in players on chess.com over the past year and a half. So that's where my best ongoing game's going.
A good choice, sir.
It's definitely. Listen, I was a little late on the hype train. Like I remember you guys were talking about it, but I didn't really say much. And then just one day, for no reason, it just hit me, and I was.
Just like,
I think it literally was just like on YouTube, and you know how they have those YouTube shorts now. So I was scrolling through those, and randomly Hikaru came up, and something happened on that, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna look him up," and then turned into Gotham Chess too.
And then that's where you get drawn in.
Yep. And then
Ha!
I
I
signed
was-
up and made an account for.
I actually stayed up literally all night one night to watch game. I think it was 7 of the World Chess Championships because game 6 was the longest game in history, and I was like, "Oh man, I need to watch this. This must be insane." And then I stayed up and watched it. And it was like, God, this is so miserable to watch live. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to bed and watched Gotham's
Yeah.
recap of it later.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
even realize, like, Gotham says, like, oh yeah, Nepo took 18 minutes on this move. He's literally staring at a board of caricatures for 18 minutes.
Or
And
they'll
then
literally like get up and walk away for 20 minutes, and you're like, where did he go?
Yeah, listen, you just had to take a little poop ski.
So what's funny is apparently there was actually someone who did that and took their cell phone in and was cheating, and got caught in some pro chess tournament or something.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
Hmm. Anyways, I think we can move on to the best indie game. And Bravo, what did you pick here?
Oh, I picked Kena Bridge of Spirits, 100%. Like it's such a well-made indie game. It's not even an indie game. It doesn't look like it. There you go.
It's an indie game in the fact that it is their first video game, and it is that good looking and a lot of fun to play. It was my choice as well.
Yeah. I really hope that they bring some crazy cool games to the
I
market.
have my eye very closely to watch Ember Labs and what they put out in the future, because I stumbled on Kana randomly one day, just hyper scrolling through the PlayStation store, and found it. And I was like, "What is this? Is this a Disney game?" And then I saw it, and it looked like Pikmin, and I was showing everyone, and I was super hyped. And then it got closer and closer, and they released, and then it was like a $30 or $40 game, and I was like, "What?" And that game easily could have been a full price PS5 release.
I was actually kind of surprised at that price point that they released it at.
Absolutely.
It was such a
So-
good decision on their point to get it like in more people's hands,
Mm-hmm. For sure.
especially being a fresh, dev team as well as a fresh IP.
Yeah, so moving on, don't need to listen to what Brad's about to say. So go ahead,
Wow.
Brad, go ahead.
All right. So best indie game. I am legitimately going to give it to Super Auto Pets.
God,
So-
I hate you.
So here's the thing. I know everybody thinks this game's a joke because
That's
they,
because it is a joke.
because they just used emojis for their characters.
Why do these characters feel like I know them?
Yeah, I felt like I knew them personally or something. There's a reason. So here's the thing. The game is way deeper than what it deserves
You
to be.
shut up. You shut
For
up.
what it is. It
Oh my
really
God.
is.
Bravo, just mute him.
It
Go
is.
through without him.
Have you okay, so
All right, when we're done recording, I need you to play through a game and tell me where the depth comes from.
it's
Let's
just
hear all
this-
that. It's like Dark Souls. You got to find the items and read the lore.
No, it's like I'm talking obviously not the story of it. I'm talking about
The
like
lore is deep.
battlegrounds, like battleground style, right?
Old
Like, there's
McDonald's animals all got
strategy.
out.
Anyways, so like the strategy and stuff like that, obviously, it's just for what it is, it's better than what it should be, and I enjoy it. I also like the fact that your turns can be as long or as short as you want compared to Battlegrounds, because I had to play Battlegrounds with Joe on my phone this week, and I couldn't multitask, and it was like pulling teeth. I've never realized how little I'd like to just actually watch and play Battlegrounds by itself.
That is a fair point. That is a fair
You know,
point.
it's weird. Like I didn't realize how much I like being able to, like, if I want to take 5 seconds in a turn and I'm done, I can see what the results are. It's that. Battlegrounds, it takes a minute and a half every single time, and I'm like, all right, well, I took literally 5 seconds. Now I gotta get up and walk around like Magnus over here, and
That's
call it
why
a day,
we
right?
played Battlegrounds when we did our stonks.
Yeah, that was that was the dream back.
That was a
That was
wild
back in the
ride.
day. Yeah, wow, bring me back. But anyways, we can move on now to the best mobile game. And Joe, what'd you pick here?
Sudoku, chess, anything that's not a mobile game. If I had to pick a real mobile game, I guess Wild Rift because it's League. But
I'd say chess is a pretty good one though.
Oh, what about Balloon Tower Defense?
I'm not paying for that game again on my phone.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's a mobile game. It's a good one.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I like League better than Balloons.
Okay, fair enough.
But I like chess better than both.
Hmm.
Sounds like I know what the game of the year it might be.
Well, you're wrong.
Well, my decision probably comes
don't wanna hear
at no
Yep,
surprise.
so Brad, go ahead.
It's my turn to be embarrassed. It's Orna, the mobile MMORPG video game, much like Pokemon Go, but fantasy based
And not interesting.
with a lot
Brad?
more depth to it.
I got a question for you, Bravo. How many hours do you think you have into this game?
Oh, whew. A lot. A lot.
How many
It-
poopski hours do you think?
Less than that, but a lot. It's like there's things that you can do that take 30 seconds. There's things that you can do that take 10 minutes. It's just kind of like, what you want to do, what you got time for. I'm definitely towards the end game. I haven't looked at my global ranking in a while, but I'm up there, like 20,000 people, 30,000 people, whatever.
Out of 31,000 people that play
out of a few 100,000 people that play it. I really like it because it's one dude. It's one dude that developed the game, and he's doing a really good job with it. That's all I'm
All
gonna
right,
say.
I'll go now. So,
Bravo, did you ever play the Witcher AR game that came out?
I was so enthralled by Orna. I never downloaded the
I remember
Witcher
you were
game,
really excited
and
for
I
it,
was really
and then
excited
you never
for
talked about it.
I
he makes fun of me.
I
for
literally-
break him.
I did not remember that game until you just said it right there. I'm gonna go
I
look at
think
its
I may have
ratings
just-
right now.
I may have just broken Bravo.
Yeah.
Hey, while he's downloading that, I'll move on to mine. So, all right. I just want to start this off by saying the only reason why I didn't choose Super Auto Pets for best mobile game is because it's not on iOS yet. But I had to go with Hearthstone because it's literally the only mobile game I play. The only thing I'll play on my phone, and I would almost rather not play it on my phone than play it.
That's
so.
just until he starts battling those 250 bots in chess on his phone.
Listen. I just want to let you know, they have the holiday bots out, and I beat the level 800 guy.
Oh, yeah?
Whatever. Yep, I beat him. I don't know what I did, but I beat him. His name's Powder.
Powder?
And then I beat Powder. And then I went to try to go against Eve. She's 1,000, and she wiped the floor with me. Like I don't even. She was making illegal moves, I think.
Go off the screen on the left side, come back on the right side of the screen.
I think she moved my pieces. I think she was moving.
That's funny.
So let's go to best community support. And Bravo, give us a little explanation for what this even means, because I don't know what the heck I chose here.
Oh, all right. Well, I assume best community support can be, well, by the definition, is like the support from the community, right? So I took that literally a little bit, but also just like what they do for the game, what they do with the game. So my choice was Skyrim because without the community making mods and changing the game, making the game graphically look better, adding missions, adding all kinds of crazy stuff, like that game would have died a long time ago. But there it is, still alive.
Not if it's Todd Howard's dream. Listen, he will keep that bad boy on life support for as long as possible.
Also, the sheer fact
release it
that
again.
they keep reselling the game and the community keeps buying it, like it's literally the only reason is because they're supporting that game with their financial compensation because they won't stop buying it.
I am wholly convinced nobody has bought Skyrim since like the original edition, but they just keep releasing it for nobody to buy.
I have to tell you a funny story. So I talked to my buddy, his name's Andrew, right? So call him up, talk to him on the phone a little bit. He goes, "You'll never guess what." And I'm like, because he plays some games, not too much, whatever. Huge fan of The Witcher and Skyrim. It's like, "You'll never guess what." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I got really into Skyrim again. They just released this new river, so I bought it, and it's got like all these updates." He just bought it. So I know somebody personally who literally just purchased it probably 2 weeks ago.
I owned Skyrim like 3 or 4 times over.
Jesus.
I had it for like the first console it came out, and then the next console I got,
and then the next console that it's coming out on,
the PC, the VR version, and then the not the anniversary edition, but the edition between that. So I
the 10th anniversary of that one.
Yeah, and I would have gotten the 10th anniversary if it wasn't so expensive for what it offered. Like, why would I do that? I'd just go download the mods, you know? I don't know.
I was a freshman in high school when that game came out.
Wow.
That was the problem, by the way, from what I'm hearing. This keeps coming out. So that's come to the
I would probably still play that game more frequently if I hadn't lost my original save horse. And I know that's a petty reason, but I'm pretty butthurt about that.
I would have played the game more if it didn't take 7 swipes with a sword to kill that rat down in the sewers. I'm still salty about it.
I might give it another go. I might play it.
You know how many times I think that, and then I get to the intro, right? And I get to that building where you got to jump across, and the dragon's breathing at you. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? I hate myself.
I at least typically make it to the like prison cells.
It's just
I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't bring myself to do it.
Yeah. Well,
anyways,
we got off on a bit of a talk on that one.
Let's move onward here, Joe. What did you pick?
Well, Brad's on his train again where he gets confused at the topic, doesn't know what to pick, copies and pastes my answer.
Oh.
So Brad and I picked Minecraft.
Oh, no. I chose Minecraft for a completely different reason than why you chose Minecraft.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? There you go.
The mining or the crafting?
Oh.
I chose Minecraft because of the communities that are built completely around Minecraft. Obviously, it's the biggest game in the world. And I played on some of the servers where people like dedicate all of their time to just building massive structures and these giant fantasy worlds and making Minecraft into some giant RPG. And just like the modding and like the people who do like full-time coding in that game. blows my mind. And the amount of things like you're actually able to do. Like those people who made like a functioning computer
Mm-hmm.
in Minecraft, just mind-boggling to me.
Or like the random posts you see on Reddit where it's like, hey guys, me and my friends spent the last 10 years remaking the entire world of Harry Potter in Minecraft.
And you're just like,
You can download it
what?
for free over here. What?
The last how long? I can't even like 10 years ago I was more worried about, what color flip-flops I was wearing,
Yeah, that is crazy.
what I was gonna have for homework. If these guys are over here building Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose Minecraft just because my stepdaughter and all of her friends still play it nonstop. Literally.
Really?
Servers. Yeah, that's like
They don't play
all the-
Roblox?
No,
That-
the Roblox thing ended at like in 3 months. They were on that for 3 months, just like Among Us.
Wow.
They'll get like into stuff, but their home is Minecraft. They're always on Minecraft. That's the home.
Those kids have potential.
Yeah, they love Minecraft. She's always
Their Minecraft are my MOBAs.
She's gonna be one of those people. Well, hey, me and my friends rebuilt the world of Zoomers, and it took us 10 years. I don't know.
I honestly don't know what they do, but she
Yeah.
all I know is she stole somebody's diamond pickaxe and threw it in the lava on accident and
Oh no.
and then she spent like a lot of time trying to get it back. They were like borrowing it and they dropped it in the lava or something on accident.
You just hear screaming coming from upstairs. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I threw his pickaxe in the lava.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
she's like, and then
And Brad just starts crying because he knows the pain.
Yeah, so she when she did that, she came down and she's like, I just spent 2.5 hours getting this pickaxe back.
Jesus.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, all right, well, that's fun. Anyways, let's move onward to the best VR/AR game, and let's start with Joe this time.
Thank God.
So I played 0 VR games since January 1st till now. And so my answer naturally would be none. But Resident Evil 4 came out and I almost bought another VR headset. I have the PlayStation VR. Haven't hooked it up probably in 2 years. But I was ready to go out and buy an Oculus simply to play Resident Evil 4. And it's Resident Evil 4, but they took the Wii version and added more to it, and it looks cool. So that's what I picked. Brad, would you like to expand on this?
Yeah, it's the best VR game I've played. That's not Beat Saber. So okay, it's the best game that I've played where I was like actually involved with, like in the story and like in the gameplay and stuff. Where like Super Hot was super fun as well. I really love Super Hot. And Beat Saber is just like I mean, I don't even know. It's like, yeah, it's VR, but it doesn't feel like super VR intensive, as weird as it sounds. It's not like as immersive, I guess what it is. But Resident Evil 4, it's just like, because of the familiarity of playing RE4 so many years ago and numerous times, and you get into it and you're like just in the village and you know what's gonna happen. You're like, oh yeah, this is a pretty, it's a fun area. You get the little, swarm of the guys coming in, the guy with the chainsaw comes, and you just gotta survive. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I need to like manually reload. I need to like turn around.
The pressure hits you.
And not like fall over in my living room. It's intense. And if it wasn't for me getting motion sick, I would have played a lot more of that game.
Brad, I need to know, in the Resident Evil 4 VR, are you able to flop around on the ground like in Resident Evil 6?
I'm gonna say yes because I could probably lay down. and flop. If I could physically do the maneuvers that Leon does in Resident Evil 6, it's possible. But
Did you have Bethany record when you do it?
yes,
Okay.
I'll do it tonight. Maybe tomorrow. It's kind of late. All right, Bravo.
Well,
What do you got?
I picked Phasmophobia, partially because it's one of the few VR games I've played this year, but also because it's a pretty darn good game by itself, and then with the VR it adds a whole other layer. Like it's pretty good. If it wasn't Phasmophobia, I'd have to pick Skyrim.
Oh God, we're not talking about it. We're gonna talk about though, Bradley, Mr. Horror himself. When are we playing Phasmophobia?
Oh, you
I
said
bought the
Mr.
game.
You said Mr. Horror, not
Yes.
Mr. Whore. Whoa!
I bought the game for Brad at the beginning of October and was like, "We're gonna play this," and he's like, "Yeah."
I
And
was down to play it then, and we just never.
it's now about to be Christmas, not Halloween, not Thanksgiving.
Well, get at me in October.
Dude, I hope the creators drop like a small update where the ghost has a chance to just whisper in your ear, just ho ho ho, and then just kills you.
What if it's just Santa Claus?
Yeah, what if...
Apparently, they did just add another update. I know Clay was talking about it, and then he was like, "Has Brad played it yet?" And I was like, "Nope." He's like, "Oh, we gotta get him."
Fun little story. I was playing Skyrim VR, and I was crouched down because I was trying to do it like actual, so you crouch down and your guy actually crouches in the game, and I have a HTC Vive, so you can like physically move around. Well, I was just crouched down over a rock, and I was sniping a guy with a bow, and then another gentleman came at me from my side, so I instinctively dodged out of the way. But you see, in the real world, there was a wall right next to me. So I imagine like leapfrog, you're crouched down, leapfrog, lunged into this wall, face first, boom,
and now
slide down.
There's a cast mold above his face.
It
in the wall.
was not light, and I thought I was pretty confident where I knew where I was in real space, but I was wrong.
There was a horror game in VR I played, and like you open a door and like it just drops, and you're in like this giant like pit of like techie things, and you have to like walk across this little ledge, and I'm like tiptoeing, and my mom walks in and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I can't fall off." And she looks at the TV and she goes, "Well, why are you like tripping over the couch?" And I was like, "Am I not in the middle of the room?" And she just like pushed me, and I just face planted into the couch.
So before we moved into the house, as everybody knows, took way too long. At Bethany's old house, this is the first time I ever played anything VR, and I put on the Oculus. I was playing super hot, and her old house was pretty small. Like ceilings pretty much went like this, and you could touch ceiling. And pistol was up in the air, and I went to go grab it, and I punched the ceiling so hard, like as hard as I possibly could. And I am amazed I didn't take the roof off of the house. It was amazing. And then number two, I also had that moment where, kind of similarly to Bravo, but not 100%. I did actually try to vault over a wall, but I was trying to lean on a wall, and I fell forward.
Oh yeah.
It almost hit my face in the ground. So that was fun. But
My favorite VR experience was Resident Evil 7. I was over at a friend's house, and another friend was... It was like when the PSVR first come out, and he put it on and was doing something, and oh no, he wasn't even playing Resident Evil. He's playing the Until Dawn like cart shooter, and something popped out, and he like went into the fetal position and was just shaking and screaming. And I have to see if I could find the video of it, but it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That is funny.
All right. Let's move on to the next category though. So innovation and accessibility. So bravo, I'm gonna admit I kind of piggybacked just because off the fact that I saw
Yeah, we
sign
saw it live.
language is
Yeah.
in this.
I'm
Yes.
joining the piggyback train, so just because I didn't actually read the question.
I was okay. Yeah, so we'll talk about it all at once. Then we all picked Forza Horizon 5 because Brad and I saw this, live with the previous episode, watching the Game Awards, where Forza has an actual person signing off to the side of the screen everything that they do in that game, and it blew me away. Like who does that? And I don't know enough about the sign language community, the deaf community, but I thought that was so freaking cool, and I hope that it's useful to the people that need it. But wow, that is pretty neat.
It's neat, but I still am not sold on the actual functionality to it.
Mm-hmm.
What they should have done is put the lady digitally implanted her on the car while you're driving, and she's just
Passenger seat,
wild,
yeah,
going wild.
going wild.
You ever seen? Speaking of which, you seen the ladies doing sign language at like concerts?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
the rap concerts.
Gosh, yes, it's wild.
Yeah,
Got like the girl doing like Snoop Dogg.
Mhm.
It's super funny.
I remember the lady at Eminem's Rap God, and she's just like as fast as humanly possible.
Somehow she grew like extra set of hands. Just flailing.
Oh wow.
Man. All right, so we can go to the best action game. And bravo. I know you just did that one, but I want to hear your answer here.
All right.
I just want to hear you say it.
I just want to.
I chose Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition. Okay, it's Warhammer 40K, and it's the closest thing that I can find beside the quite old Space Marine game, which it's getting a Space Marine 2 coming out soon. But Death Hulk is like rip and tear. Like you're in there, you're basically like a special forces type unit, and you're clearing out big bads. And it's a great action game. I really liked playing it. What did you guys pick that was so unique and requires smirks coming from all angles?
Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village. It definitely was, I think, the best action game to pick. I really actually enjoyed the game, and I want to play it again. I'm probably gonna wait until. I'm almost wondering. We haven't heard anything about another Resident Evil game.
Wasn't there just like leaks of the RE4 remake?
Well, I haven't been paying attention too much. But the thing is, they've been kind of consistently putting out a game every year. Think about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
I mean, obviously there's been 2 remakes in between like the mainline games. So
yeah, but that's it's like, well, does that mean that RE4 is a little closer than we think?
I hope.
That'd be pretty spicy. I wouldn't mind it.
I just hope they don't do the RE3 treatment.
Just don't
learn their lesson.
Just don't do it anywhere near February, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, my guess is they won't.
Yeah, February is a no-go zone. So.
Just don't release any games in February, okay? It's
probably March. Like,
yeah, it's not gonna be
just
good.
Just leave a buffer zone.
Anyway, so we can move to best action adventure game. And I'm going to lead this one off because I always pass it off. Why not? Do something unique, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually choosing Bioshock because I started Bioshock again, and the game is super fun. I still enjoy it. It's a little dated, games from like 2007, but I really love Bioshock. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
I know almost nothing from it. I own the whole series now because I bought it on sale with the winter sale or something for like $9. But yeah, I want to know what everybody else is always talking about. I don't know.
The story is just the big,
Yeah.
It's a really cool story.
Yeah.
It's a interesting game. I only played a bit of the first one, but I don't know. I see the appeal, but it's not as hyped.
As far as like release timeline goes, do you think it piggybacks off of Resident Evil a little bit, where it's got like the iconic like enemy characters, like Pyramid Head? This game has like the big Nautilus,
the Big Daddy and stuff.
Yeah.
So the thing with this game, that the story is number one, the main reason. Like it just has good writing. Simple as that. And I won't obviously spoil anything because at some point I'm sure you'll play it, at least give it a shot. And then if you give up on it, I'll tell you a little bit. And yes, the Big Daddies are pretty cool. And a lot of people were like, "Oh man, I kind of hope I could play as one of these things because they look cool." So
you just play League of Legends and pick Nautilus.
It's perfect. So yeah, realistically, I guess not too much to get into with it. It's a real old game.
Yeah.
How about you, Bravo?
I chose Remnant from the Ashes. We didn't play through all of it as a group.
We played through the main game. We didn't play through the DLCs.
Right. And I was actually pretty surprised by the game. Like it was pretty cool. Dark Souls with guns, kind of. I really like playing through it. I hope we go back and play it some more some other time.
I'm a little salty. We never finished, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
I bought that game actually day one. It was
wow.
I actually pre-ordered the game on PlayStation when it first came out, and yeah, game's super fun.
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
Well, I got some spice coming up towards the end of our list here, but my favorite action adventure game, Zelda Skyward Sword HD for the Nintendo Switch. So I never played Skyward Sword on the Wii when it came out. I just didn't really play much of the Wii in general, but I knew I wanted to play this game, and then they announced it for the Zelda anniversary, which I was hoping and praying, obviously, for the remasters of Ocarina and Majora's Mask and all that, yada yada. That it doesn't seem like we're getting at this point. But Skyward Sword came out, and I picked it up. Super excited. I got the amiibo, the Joy-Cons, all the above, which I had to hunt for, and now they're just everywhere. But whatever. The game's really good. It's like a very good prequel into the Zelda series, and the motion controls were a little jank, and then the non-motion controls were a little awkward as well. But it was like you had to hold in the right bumper to use the right stick to look around instead of using right bumper and then the right stick to attack, which I thought was weird. But they did what they had to like make there a non-motion control option. But overall, the game's really good. It's actually one of my favorite, like, Zelda, the character, the princess, one of my favorite, like, adaptations of her as a character. And there's, like, actual life between Zelda and Link in that game, which I thought was cool. And the Loft Wings, I was indifferent towards. A lot of the time felt wasted flying around. But yeah, that game was really good, and I'm surprised more people don't like it than they seem to be out there.
I've never played that game, so that's an interesting take on that.
Yeah, the game gets crapped on, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I gotta ask my buddy. So he's similar to you, Joe. Very big into Zelda, collects it all, basically the same exact thing. And I can't remember what he said how he liked it when he played through. I think he said the same thing, that it was a little like he was going back and forth and wasn't sure which one he liked for the controls.
Yeah, it was
But-
like they both. So motion controls were like, you could tell they were smoother than what the old one was, because I watched some video like the Wii gameplay and it was awful.
Mhm.
But the motion controls on this one were like okay, but they were a little spotty sometimes. But I ended up settling on the like physical Wii. What do they call the control? The smart or what's the control's name for the Wii or Switch? Pro controller.
Oh yeah, the
Pro
actual
controller. Yeah,
controller.
I played with the Pro controller because the Joy-Cons just weren't doing it for me, and
Gotcha.
I enjoyed it. It was weird. There was like a little bit of like going back and forth to the same areas, but the way they did it was really cool in my opinion.
All right, so I think we can move onward to the best RPG. And Bravo, you representing, baby. I love you just a little bit
The
more.
fact that even Brad didn't pick Bravo's pick.
I'm really surprised and honestly a little salty. A little bit of inverse relationship there that Brad did not pick Diablo 2 for the best
All right.
RPG.
I just want to here's the thing. So I'm doing what I thought the Game Awards were doing. I want to have a little more representation. And I just want to give a little shout out to a game. That's all. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's all.
I got you. I got you.
You
so
know,
so you're saying Diablo 2 shows up on your list somewhere else.
Yeah. Diablo 2 is, I think, the best RPG, but I'm not gonna choose it because.
I swear, if you put Diablo 2 as your game of the year, I'm just gonna cut it out.
Yeah.
It'll just be Bravo, Joe, and then guys,
And
thanks.
then
Thanks for
config
listening.
music.
Yeah, but I know, Brad. I know you don't really care for the story of Diablo 2. You played it so doggone much, you just blast right through it. But I honestly, I think this story is not too bad. I think it's a pretty good story.
Pretty okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah. The story definitely isn't bad. I like the story of it. It's just I'm not there for just the story.
Yeah.
And because I'm there for that loot grind, it just made me stop.
And
I guess
I
checked
to the story. I checked all the Warhammer games that I play, and none of them are tagged as RPG games. So I was like, well, I can't put those here. So.
Yep. I feel you. I was struggling with one of the categories, and you'll see where I did that too. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Diablo 2, you know how I feel about that game. And just a little note, we got an update coming.
Yeah.
Kind of big news for Brad here. Hasn't been an update since 2010. Diablo 2.
Pretty big news.
About since Skyrim's release.
Yeah, so Skyrim years old is when this baby got updated last.
Yeah, pretty big release for the druids out there.
Yeah, Druid's getting the biggest.
Yeah, boy.
Supposedly, we'll see. Obviously, once it actually gets released, but because they didn't give us any real data of like what's happening, what's changing. But they said that Druid's getting the biggest like work around to make them feel like
useful.
So yeah, basically,
because we had some dead weight in our crew when we played Red.
Yeah, we did. So they want to just make it to where every class is they don't want them to even be good. They just want it to be where it's a viable like option where if like you choose this skill, you can at least get through the game. That's essentially what their thought is. And I'm like, you know what? It's not bad. They're just changing little synergies around. They're tweaking like mana cost. Very, very small things. And they're like, listen, they're because they even asked, they're like, "Oh, you thought about changing this up, changing that up?" And they're like, "We don't want to do anything that is going to change the game. Like the game's good already. We don't want to change too much to make it not
Yeah,
good."
just a little fine tuning. That's
Yeah.
never hurt
So
anything.
yeah,
The
and
worst
then
that could happen is the game burns to the ground, which they tried that 3 times already.
yeah. So and I think this is really cool. So there are rune words in the game that have never been released. But they were made. The old original team made them. They just never activated them. And when the latter releases, they're putting in a few of them, and they're gonna like slowly trickle them out. I thought that was cool. Anyways, get along with it. Diablo section. Joe, hit me with it. Best RPG.
Yeah, so I was thinking back, and there's only like a few RPGs I play nowadays because they're just getting too big and time consuming, and my attention span just isn't there. But like I was considering putting Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I thought the game was really pretty. But then I was like, it's Assassin's Creed, and I didn't play that much of it because I went back and probably would have realized that the game was full of a whole bunch of nonsense that I didn't want to do, just like every other Assassin's Creed. But then I was like, what other games have I played that are RPGs? And I came upon The Witcher 3 and 1. And The Witcher 3 is incredible. Even though I never make it very far, I did play it a few
You
times
killed
this
that
year.
griffin, baby.
I tear that griffin up every time. And then I play it for
Ugh.
another 10 minutes and I'm like, good game. I'll see you in 3 months, Mr. Griffin.
Yep. I told you that's the end game, the griffin. It's a good
You
boss.
beat that griffin, you're like, woo, final boss, easy. Wild Hunt, who?
I just want to see. I just play it because I want to see Geralt in that tub. That's all I want to do. He's in
Gwent.
that tub. I'm like,
Gwent is the true end game.
Gwent. I spent so much time playing Gwent in that. But then they released like the Gwent card game, and I played a ton of it, and then they changed it up, and I was like, okay, this is garbage. And was so hurt.
That is a card game that I played a good amount of it, but it is the most pay to win card game.
Yeah,
I've played.
it's ridiculous.
It is so.
But that is the card game that would have like got me to where Brad is with Hearthstone if it wasn't so money hungry.
It's sad because I play Hearthstone, and I'm telling you, Gwent is pay to win compared to Hearthstone.
That's sad.
Gwent it's so much fun. And
I don't know where
the only way I could play it is in The Witcher 3.
By the way, just to let anybody know out there, don't tear our heads off. I don't know how Gwent is now. It's been a little while since I played.
Yeah, they lost all of my interest whenever they went that route. So even if it's fixed, chances are I probably still won't touch it.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm gonna take spotlight now and tell you the reason why I didn't choose Diablo 2 is because I really enjoyed Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I've been playing it since it released. So day it released is the day I left for the honeymoon, and I played it only a little bit on the honeymoon. Didn't have as much time on the plane. Excited to watch the movie instead on the plane. And I've been slow rolling this game, about as slow as you could possibly imagine. But I enjoy it. I don't know what it is. I like pick it up and I play it like you'd play a mobile game. Pick it up, play it for like 5 minutes, put it down.
It's
it might be another.
That's how it works.
Yeah, might be another like 5 days before I pick it up again and I play it again. But every time I think about it, I'm like, man, I want to play Pokemon. I enjoy it. And I'm just slowly taking my time. I kind of like it. It's nice having a game like that.
Yep.
So, simple. That's the reason why I didn't pick Diablo, because I just wanted to give a little shout out. And I love myself some Pokemon.
Well, good for you. I hope you're proud of yourself.
I'm proud of my 30-year-old self being into Pokemon. So, all right, we're moving on. Best fighting game. Bravo.
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 Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Not only
We
is
were
it
all so excited for this game.
my most played fighting game of 2021, it is probably my favorite fighting game of the genre. And I played it even after all of my friends abandoned me and Cat
After a
Dog.
day.
You
I played once.
I just want to, I want to throw this out there. Okay. So we were super hyped about this. And originally I was like, I'm going to wait because I want to get the physical copy. Because I kind of semi collect like cartoon games because I think it's kind of cool. And then they were all hyped. They both purchased it. We even had other people that also purchased it in the community playing. We played literally 2 rounds, and then we all had to go do something. Never played.
We were
again.
like all working at the same time.
Yeah.
Unless my boss is listening, then none of us were working.
I don't know what you're talking about, Joey. I was.
We were working
never...
on passion projects.
Yes. So and I uninstalled it like 3 days later because I was like, I'm only gonna play it with them. I'm very much, when it comes to fighting games, like I need to play with like friends. That's what I enjoy. I can't play it like by myself. And I don't know. For some reason I don't like to play them against like randos online. But I'm weird. So
Fair.
Yeah, well,
maybe some.
I'm not ranked very high, but I do play.
I am
online.
ranked.
How many wins do you get a week, you say?
More than 0.
Yeah, I like that answer. More than 0.
Might be 0.
There's some goofballs out there that'll hoo-ha, hit, and they get you, and then you just die, and you're whoa. I haven't figured that part out.
Man, was it Nickelodeon All Stars? There's a clip I'm gonna have to show it to you guys later on, where these 2 streamers are playing, and the guy is like, "Listen, I'm basically a pro Smash Bros." He's like, "Yeah, I play a little bit of it," and then all of a sudden 2 hits, and he spikes the dude off the map. And they just die laughing. It was.
The pro does it,
like,
or the pro gets spiked?
It wasn't even pros. They were just like 2 streamers in general. And he was the one guy was talking crap. He's like, I play Smash Bros a lot. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I play here or there or whatever. And then as Danny Phantom, he does this like charge move and then a spike. The guy just goes down and he's like, what? And then that was it. It's pretty funny.
I cannot fathom, like, you know how many fighting games we've watched get released or teased this year? Like, it is crazy. Why is everybody doing it? Stop it.
Needs battle royales, and we could have platform fighters.
I don't know, man. It's crazy.
That DC one looks pretty good too, actually.
Yeah, some of them look pretty good, but also, like, you got Nickelodeon. Why? I mean, I'm happy to do it. Playing Cat Dog is hilarious, but oh man. Anyways, let's move on. Best sports / racing game that.
Wait a minute, no, Joe and I didn't even talk about our
It
fight.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the only fighting game that matters. We're good. We're moving
1,
on.
2, 3
I'm
here, Brad. Let's knock them out.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna 2v1.
Come on, you basic white girl. What did you pick, Brad?
So I picked Smash Bros Ultimate because it's
Whoa.
the best one. Yep. Joe, what'd you pick?
Mortal Kombat 11 because
What?
Scorpion is cool.
All right. So now, Bravo. What were you saying?
Best sports / racing game 2021. My decision was easy.
Same.
Yeah. So, Joe, tell me your easy answer.
NHL 2022.
Boom.
It's hockey, and I like hockey.
Hockey.
Yeah, I mean, it's realistically not a I don't really like any sports games anymore because they're all just copy paste.
Oh yeah.
But for what it is, it's hockey.
Well, I'm gonna go and say I chose the newest NBA game just because I like basketball. I haven't played a basketball game, I think, since 2019, but I like basketball.
Well,
Fair.
What'd you pick?
my game is a little bitty game called Legend Bowl. I don't remember why, but I was looking for a sports game on Steam, and I was like, man, maybe there's something else I can play because obviously, like NFL, 2K, NBA, all that stuff, like it's not on Steam. So I was scrolling through and I found this game, Legend Bowl, and there were people streaming it, through Steam. And I was like, all right, I'll tune into these guys. And I ended up watching it, and I ended up streaming it in the Discord to a couple of the friends, and these guys were having a blast, having a grand old time. And it reminded me of this old Game Boy football game that I used to play, black and white screen on the original Game Boy. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this sucker up, and it's pretty good. It gives me a little bit of nostalgia, even though it's not the actual game, but it's a fresh take, not too unique, I would say, to like a standard football game, but it's good. It's really good. That's my
Fair and balanced.
that's my sports game. Go check it out.
All right.
It's pretty cheap.
All right, let's move. Best sim strategy game. All
Just
right,
get it out of the way, Brad.
I'm getting it out of the way. So here's what happened. I don't think I play strategy games or simulation games, and then I looked on Steam at the tags, and you'll never believe what is a strategy game. Super Auto Pets.
All right, Bravo, you're up.
I chose Warhammer Battle Sector. I played through and beat it in like a couple days. Had a pretty good time. The campaign starts you off a little slow compared to what I would like. They don't give you all the tools right off the bat. I feel like it should be a little faster. But other than that, I give the game really, really good marks. If you want a 4X Warhammer game, that's probably the best one out there with the newer graphics. Easily the best.
Wrong.
Yes, correct. What about you, Joe?
The best sim strategy game of the year is still Civilization 6. It's not really up for debate. It's just good. It's the best 4X game available. There's no real competition, even though Humankind was popular for a week.
Mm-hmm.
But Civ is just too good. It's too well balanced, and it's not going anywhere. Sid Meier's games are amazing.
Fair and balanced.
Very interesting. How about best multiplayer, guys? Best multiplayer game. Joe, let's get your basic white girl answer out of the way.
League of Legends, it's the best and the worst multiplayer game at the same time.
Very interesting.
Yes, thank you.
We
You can
all
tell
know.
we're real passionate about it because
We
we
all
all
know.
just know what it is.
All right, Bravo. I like your answer.
I chose It Takes Two. Even though it's only two people, it's a really good multiplayer for all the reasons we've already talked about before.
I decided on the whim right here live to change my answer. Okay. So I originally was gonna say Back for Blood because I think it's a pretty good game. I enjoyed it, but I'm changing it to Gunfire Reborn.
Ooh.
Oh.
I like that answer.
I gotta change it to Gunfire Reborn. That game, I had a lot of fun.
Look at that,
I
Brad.
loved it.
You break out of the the norm. You go play a game
Play
that
an actual game.
yeah,
A
you go
first-person
play a
shooter?
game, and you
Play something
like it.
that's not super Autobots.
It tastes good. It feels good.
I felt a little dirty when I played. I don't know. I felt like I was breaking the law or
Oh
something.
boy.
Yeah, Gunfire Reborn though, man, that game is it's too good
It
for
is a
its
game.
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We'll get you to
let's move
beat the
on.
second boss eventually.
It'll never happen. If I'm involved, it'll never happen. All right, so best esports game. All right, Joe, I don't even want to hear you talk about this. Give it to me though.
League of Legends.
Oh boy.
They just released numbers for this Worlds, and I can't remember the exact number, but it was absolutely ridiculous. Was it like 1.2 billion people tuned in at some point to the Worlds?
No way.
It was something absolutely absurd, and I read it and I was like, there's no way it's real.
No way.
1.2 billion.
It was something ridiculous like that.
Holy crap! If that's true.
Oh
Hold on.
boy.
You guys go ahead and talk about yours. I'll find the numbers and be back.
All
All
right.
right, so I just want to tell you, Bravo. Okay.
You tell me
I got a
all
little
about
confession. I don't think I've ever watched Rocket League before I watched you. I had a lot of fun watching you. I have a lot more fun watching you play the Rocket League than I do League.
it. That makes me feel so good. You don't even know. Like
Yeah. So like drastically. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Like I'm not into like the Call of Duties, and
Mm-hmm.
Fortnites. I don't know. Are those considered to be esports games? I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they probably are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. None of those do anything for me. But then Rocket League, I was like, I'm feeling a little something here. Something in my pants area.
All right. I'm gonna put my sales pitch hat on. Okay. Rocket League is the best esports game because literally anybody can tune in and watch it, and within 30 seconds, your grandma can go, "Oh, it's soccer, but it's got cars." She doesn't understand that the rockets and the mechanics and all that stuff, but she can understand that if a guy leaps into the air and does a rocket blast and hits a ball and it dodges a person and goes into the goal, like, oh, that's amazing, it's a great goal, like everybody rejoices, and for those of us that are somewhat video game inclined, know that that is probably pretty hard, and it just it scales with information, with knowledge, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And I'm very biased because I've been to several live events, and I'm just gonna shut up now.
Yeah, I think that's why I was kind of drawn in watching it. I'm like, this is so simple to like. It's simple to follow, clearly hard to master game and everything. But
Yeah.
I was enjoying myself.
When we go to League Worlds next year, you guys will be able to be
Oh.
biased towards that.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Mm.
So, one more thing on Rocket League is that it's only grown over time. And even with the state of the world these last couple of years, it had a little bit of a hiccup because Psyonix sold the game to Epic at probably the worst time. Like they were ramping up to just explode in popularity, and then the world events happened, and it just kind of like the season, the professional season did not go as planned. So they drug it out, and it's getting back there, but it's only grown, and it's beautiful to watch. Absolutely.
Okay,
Hmm.
so I got my numbers, and they were slightly mixed up. There was over 1.2 billion hours watched,
Ooh.
but there were 73 million peak viewers during the finals only, which was 60% of an increase from the years prior. It was the highest viewed esport event ever, from what this is saying.
Wow. That's a lot of people. It's not 1/7 of the world's population, but that's a lot of people.
A lot of
Yes.
zeros.
Yeah, and they don't know like what all is counted in that. They aren't sure if China's population is, accurately counted
Oh yeah.
for that. So it could be higher. But those are the numbers that were released by Riot.
Fair enough. I mean, I
Fair
believe
enough.
him, to be honest.
Okay. Most anticipated game. I like this category.
Hmm.
Even though I think it's kind of,
That doesn't get an opinion here because it's wrong.
I get an opinion because I wanted to be different. That was the reason why.
Hey, as long as
it
you're
is,
honest.
yeah. So, all right, Joe, just say it because you're
Elden Ring.
fangirling.
Elden
said it.
Ring. Hmm.
So yeah, Elden Ring is probably, I would say it's very close. And the only reason why I went a little differently with God of War Ragnarok because I was a huge fan of.
Oh, is that what
the,
you picked? God of War Ragnarok?
Yes.
Hmm.
So
you're
I
wrong.
just chose that because I was such a big fan of the remake
Being
of
different
God of War.
and difficult.
And yeah, to be different, sometimes we want to hear a little something different. That's all. Everybody's gonna hear Elden Ring. Elden Ring won most anticipated game 2 years in a row.
And they could push it back another year and it'll be 3 years in a row for me. This game's been the most anticipated since like it was in rumor stages for me.
Once, because all they mentioned before was just that George R.R. Martin was working with.
Yeah, I didn't
then
know
everybody was
anything
like-
more than George R.R. Martin was involved in a game, and I was like, I cannot wait.
Stop it. You're giving me heartburn. You're scaring me.
I just want to say like 2 months,
Oh,
and then I'm gone.
no.
That's it.
I just want to say,
I just want it to be good. That's all.
what if it's bad, Joe? What if it flops? What if it's like a 3 out of 10?
I don't care. I will I'm a firm believer of don't pre-order games. I will pre-order this game with
Did you see, by the way, that they had to pull the collector's edition because they were getting so many orders that they couldn't keep up with it?
I
know,
crazy
but
like that.
this game is like I'm probably just going to buy a digital and wait for like the 18th batch of collector's edition they release.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah,
fact that
I'm,
I want to play it at midnight.
If it wasn't so like, there's no freaking way that I can get a hold of one. But if I could, this would be the game that I would actually purchase, like the edition with the
The
helmet,
big one.
the
The
big
helmet.
one,
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
Like
The
the
helmet.
$350
Yeah, that's
edition.
so sexy. Mm.
But
I would wear that helmet while playing the game. Just
I wouldn't open that box. I would literally buy a digital edition just to keep that.
I think they would. No, I think if you buy that, you have to wear the helmet. I think
Yeah.
against the law. They'll come arrest you if you don't wear the helmet.
Well, the thing is, I'm buying it digital, so it won't register that I have that one.
Oh, you see, you broke the
Yeah,
the law.
I found a
there. You figured
loophole.
it out. The loophole. there. So God of War Ragnarok, Thor's got that dad bod. That's why.
Yeah. Lore accurate Thor.
Yes, that's what you need.
I love it.
Thick
I just
boy.
like it because he's got the same shape as me. All right.
I don't know.
let's-
You might have a few pounds on him.
Yeah. I can wield that hammer.
Yeah, you're
I
worthy.
could easily wield it.
Yeah.
Got that fat body strength. So all right, so we're moving to our favorite podcast episode. A little spiciness.
Some of our own little categories
Yeah.
rather in here.
Just to plug and boast ourselves a little bit.
Oh.
All right, Joe. What did you
Why
pick?
do I have to go first here?
I don't know.
I feel
Try-
nervous about picking mine because I feel like it's wrong.
Why is it wrong?
I don't know. Because I look at the other ones and I'm like, dang, those are good ones too.
It's like your opinion, bro. You can't be.
I know.
It's almost like we have good content on our channel.
Ho ho! Like, comment, subscribe. Ho ho!
Oh, I think you should guys listen to all of them.
I picked episode 20. It was during our horror month. It was our first like deep dive per se into a series. And well, we say that, but we had a comment that told us we did a pretty surface dive on GTA as well, so it wasn't our first deep dive because we messed up a deep dive before this. But this one, I chose episode 20, Silent Hill. And I just had a lot of fun doing the research for it, more than I did even talking about it. But it was just me and Brad fangirling and kicking Bravo out of the club.
That was the most like little work I've ever done for this podcast since we began. Okay, guys, I'm here. I'll hit record now.
I'll see you guys at the end.
It was fun though. It's learning a little bit, enjoying whatever the heck that was. It was a good one.
I just like the research. I had like 80 tabs up on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one. It's fun to go back and reminisce on like a fan, like as a fanboy, like a series that you just are really into. So.
I like using the podcast as an example to learn new and exciting things about things that I already like that I otherwise would not have learned.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, apparently the horror genre was not that for you. Not things that you already like.
No, I actually learned quite a few things about the horror genre, like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, that I would not ever know if I had not been a part of this podcast. So,
and yet we still can't get him to play any of them.
Silent Hill is kind of tough to get into.
Silent Hill is tough. Resident Evil's not.
Yeah. Silent Hill, I mean, you gotta either emulate it or you gotta
shell out $100.
Yeah, 100 bones at men,
and then find yourself a PlayStation to play it in.
Mm-hmm. But Bravo, what did you pick for your episode?
All right.
Why?
All right. I picked episode 11, the Gaming Island Challenge. I like weird stuff, and it was like a big hypothetical question that we asked each other, and I had a lot of fun crafting the episode because we had a lot of jokes in there. Like we had a lot of like kind of like self jabs, like why would we go to this island? Why would we take a game like this? It's like, okay, well, if I have to take one game, I guess it's gonna be like you get a little theory crafting in there. It's a lot of fun.
And then there was Brad and Bravo like racking their brain for an hour, and they told me the topic, and I was like, oh, done. And they were just like, what?
It took quite a while to create the list. Definitely did.
We're very thoughtful people. Nothing to be ashamed of.
I did a lot of research.
No time at all.
I will agree though. That was probably my favorite episode for like the preparation part of it was a lot of fun to me. So yeah, but going along with that also, this is probably a close runner-up for preparation fun. And that was episode 13, the favorite gaming soundtracks. Going through trying to just like be like, oh man, I'm gonna start listening to the Ocarina of Time soundtrack and see see what's good here and listen to this, listen to that, Resident Evil and Bravo quick play the config music.
Yeah, I mean we still meme that one like once a week in any episode.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I had time to edit that the way that we imagined that episode would go.
It was perfect.
That's freaking hilarious.
But that too, and I think what it as a so for the podcast standpoint, right? The reason why I wanted to create a podcast is because I listened to so many of them from my old job when I worked at Red Bull, and I would drive around just listen to nonstop stuff all the time, and sometimes it sucked because like you'd listen to them and there was like a visual part to the podcast and you couldn't get anything. Where this one is like a strictly like audio, audible one, and it works amazing. And you get like the little clips and you get to hear everything. It's not even like, well, we like Resident Evil 4 save music. So yeah, go look that up quick.
Yeah,
you can't play.
Go stop your car, look it up.
Yeah, like we actually played parts of, like I love that from that standpoint. So it's definitely one of my favorites right now, and I want us to do a second episode of it because I think we could easily do numerous episodes of our favorite gaming soundtracks.
I could do numerous episodes on my favorite soundtrack, period. Just Ocarina of Time. I could do a full episode on each song.
I just like what's the farm? The farm in Ocarina of Time. Yes.
Yeah.
Zelda's Lullaby, and then the Song of Storms.
I can't remember the problem is I can never remember the name of it. There's one in Smash where I always would turn all the other. So I always played in the N64 temple. That's the map I always choose. I don't know why. My favorite.
Yeah.
Map. And I'd always turned all of the music off except for this one song. I can't remember the name of it.
It was probably. I think it was the Song of Storms. Is the song that was in that game.
So, but in Smash, it was Ultimate, where they had all.
Oh, I don't know Ultimate, so.
Yeah, so in Ultimate they have like all of the music, and I turned all of them off except for this one song.
Well, we'll have to find it.
I'll show you it after the podcast. Anyways, moving onward. Going to best of the backlog. So our favorite game that we played from our backlog that we've been wanting to play, and we actually did this year. So, bravo. Give me it.
All right. Again, it's a little bit of an explanation, but I chose Warhammer Gladius, Relics of War. So I owned the core game, but I did not play it because I wanted to get some of the DLCs before I played it. And then Joe actually grabbed it with me whenever I bought all the DLCs. So in a very short amount of time, I spent about $175 buying Warhammer games because I had all these games on my wish list.
And they had a Warhammer sale.
They had a freaking sale. And, I spent $175, but, normally if you were to go buy all that, because Games Workshop is just evil in how they sell stuff, it would be like $400 or $500 in stuff. So there's no freaking way. But I bought, like all these DLCs and stuff. It's a lot of content. I'm probably never gonna make it through, but I did it, and I really like that game. I'm glad I finally played through it, and I'm glad Joe was there with me.
It was interesting. It wasn't what I expected from a 4X game. It was weird. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it, but I don't think I understood what was happening very much until like a certain point, and then it was already like too late in the game.
Yeah, it and you definitely, because the maps are like RNG, like sometimes you're just like, oh well, I lost.
Well, yeah, that's 4X games in a nutshell for you. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. I'd play it again. I'd probably do a little more research before because I literally didn't even play the tutorial whenever I hopped in with probably.
Yeah, that probably didn't help too much.
But I was still smashing some lizard men. I don't know anything about Warhammer, so.
All right,
Bradley, talk about the game that you abandoned me in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I remember.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey Joe, let's play this game, and then plays without Joe.
So that did happen, but
Your Honor, I can explain.
To my defense, I'm trying to think of a defense. Hold on.
There's no defense because I was literally like in the Discord, and you're like, "Oh, I'm fighting this boss," and I'm like, "In what?" And you're like, "Oh, in the game," and I was like, "What? Why didn't you tell me you were playing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just playing my other character." I'm like, "What?"
So I actually was playing my other character.
Announce your game first.
Borderlands. So after we saw the reveal of that Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I thought it looked cool, and I'm like, man, I've never actually beaten a Borderlands. I've tried very similar to The Witcher start up Borderlands, get to a certain point, and I'm like, oh, I'm dying. And so I start up Borderlands and I'm just like, I can't get through it. I don't know what it is. For whatever reason, it clicked this time. I don't know. And I think it was just in the right place, right time, right mood, and it was scratching the right itch. It's basically what it is. And I was like, okay, what I will do is, because I wanted to keep playing it. I was really enjoying it. But Joe, he was gone. I think he was at work or something. And I think I had a little, it was before he got home. So I played a little bit of a second character. I just started another character up to try it. But then I ended up getting further with that character than where we were. And then he was just a little salty and decided to play more League.
I wasn't even on my League kick yet.
Yeah, you were, you liar.
It was just starting, so like it was still minor.
What are you talking about? It wasn't that long ago.
I mean, it's been a few months, brother.
Yeah, I played it like literally right before Diablo 2 came out. It was probably like 3 or 4 days before Diablo 2 came out.
I don't know, but what I remember is it was, oh, Joe, go pick up this PS4 version of this game so we could play it together and not have to use the PS Now version. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I don't already own it on PC, so I'll get it just to play with you because I'm a friend, I'm a homie. And then Brad goes, oh, I forgot. I already beat the game. And
No,
I'm sitting there like, what?
I blame PlayStation Now of all of this also because it didn't work. We tried to get it to work and it just wouldn't.
So Brad says, oh, I'm going to pick it up physical. They have it in my local GameStop. And I said, I'll stop at my local GameStop, see if they have it. The next day after work, I pick it up and come home. He's like, oh, I'm already a level 16. I'm like, but I'll start a new character with you. Okay, we start a new character, play for quite a bit, go to bed, wake up the next day. And then Brad's like, oh, my character's level 37. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'll start another character and catch up to you. And I'm like, what? And then he does. We play a little bit more. And then the next day he's like, I think I'm on the final boss. And then he beats you. He's like, oh, nope, not final boss. And then like an hour later, he's like, oh, this is the final boss.
Yep.
And it's
That's
just like,
basically how
what? Like,
I just want to let you know, I am, even though I did do that, I'm still proud of myself for beating it.
I'm still angry at you for
Salty,
abandoning me.
man. I can taste it.
All right, Joe. What did you choose for your backlog game?
So it wasn't very deep on the backlog because, like, I bought it when it released, but it didn't release that long ago. It was Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. It's the cutesy little 3D version, but it plays like a 2D game. This game is awesome. I absolutely adore the perfect art style. Bravo. Bravo hates it, for anybody who's curious why I named him out. But the game, if it's a perfect game for anybody, like diehard Zelda fans would enjoy it. And the thing that I thought was really cool is this game's like simple in the fact that it gives you some guidance if you want it, with like the phone houses or phone trees, whatever you want to call them. I don't know the official name. That'll help point you in the right direction. Or you could just figure it out like a classic Zelda game. But it's like the perfect game for somebody who's never played video games and like you want to introduce. Like, you know, if I was going to give my little sister a Zelda game to play, it would be this one. It's perfect. It's not too difficult, but it has all the classic feel to it. I really hope they remake some of the older like Zelda 1 and whatnot in this style, just because I think it's perfect.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's an interesting explanation. I'm going to keep that in my back pocket for people who don't normally like video games.
It's like that was the first thing I thought of. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not easy, but it's not hard. Well, the final boss was pretty hard, and I sweat a little bit. I had to do the sit up, hat turned backwards, took my PC headset off, told the guys to shut up because I had things to do. But
He did actually do that too. You actually
I
had to turn around and
love
look
that
at the
game.
screen.
Yeah, I was playing it like in handheld, and I got angry, and I set it on the dock and got the Pro Controller and put it on the TV. And it was like, all right.
Okay, so we're moving to our second to last category, which
My favorite category.
yeah, Joe, this is where he lives. Worst game of the year. I want Joe to go first, anyways, because I'm a little hurt. I have a little.
So I knew Brad would be salty about this, and I'm gonna go into some explanations. But Brad tells me all the time that I'm too overly critical on everything, especially games. Because I told him Diablo was like a solid 0.5 out of 10 or something. I don't remember how it went. But my worst game of the year that I've played, and I'm actually angry that I paid money for this game, was the Alan Wake remaster. So first off, the story is just like as boring and plain as it comes. Like you instantly, with half a brain, know what like the overarching story of the game is. Secondly, the gameplay is so boring and just like not fun. Third, I run out of ammo and I try to run away from the enemies because there's no other real way to fight them. But if you try to run away from the enemies, they are faster than you. And then you say, okay, well, they're catching up to me and you're just swinging at me. So naturally, I'll dodge. Well, the dodge mechanic is like so. How do I word this? It doesn't work 90% of the time. And so all these people that are faster than you that you can't run away from and you can't dodge are just constantly chasing you and hitting you, and you don't have ammo because you can only hold like 12 bullets and it takes 6 to kill one person after you shine your flashlight on them for 30 seconds. The game is awful. Anybody who likes this game literally has not played a game that's worth any time at all.
Bravo.
I can't rage enough about that I bought this game
where
because
was I?
Brad talked high about this.
Bravo, if you listen to this, doesn't it sound like it's a lot of like you need to get good? You couldn't dodge, couldn't kill the guys enough. So,
Brad, I watched you get a 1% accuracy in a shooting game.
When
and
did
I
this
beat the game, damn it.
when did this happen? When did this
What do you mean, when did
know,
it happen? This game released in like 2000 and it should have stayed there.
when did you play this?
I don't know. When did the remaster come out? I uninstalled it from my PlayStation. I was so angry.
May 14th. Well, okay, May 14th, 2010 was the original one came out.
I
don't know when the remaster came out.
MF'd Brad after this because he told me it was a good game.
Yeah. Wow.
October 5th is when it came out.
It
So-
sucked.
Joe said he thinks there's a chance that it was the remaster. I don't know. Because the original game, pretty good. It's definitely pretty
I
good.
mean, there's a chance it could have been bugs. There's a wholehearted chance it could have been bugs. There's a
'cause he
chance
was
it could be
saying-
me needing to get good, but it like I would dodge at the same time every time, and one time it'll work, and then the next 10 times it wouldn't, and I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah, what was so when he was explaining it to me, what threw me off was he was like, is it like why does it feel like it's impossible to kill the guys and the dodging? And I'm like, wasn't that like I mean, it was probably like maybe 2 to probably like 3 shots, I'd say, kill an enemy.
Yeah, and this
Or
it
something.
feels like it takes 6 per enemy, and then there's the big enemies that it's just like pumping bullets into. And it's I hope it was just like there was an issue or a bug and there was an update to fix it because it was so unplayable. And I don't even remember if there was a difficulty, but if it was, I put it on normal. And like
Yeah,
the fact that you can't run away from the enemies was the thing that irked me the most. Like, I get it. It's, survival horror. You gotta be sparing with your bullets. But you should be able to, like, run away if that's the case. Not just have to have 50 healing kits because you get hit every time they catch up to you, which takes a half a second.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't know. Game definitely isn't, and it also could have aged a lot more.
Yeah.
2010 too. So who knows? Yeah. So I guess I'll go next, just because it's a game I actually talked about on the podcast. So I don't know when we did this. We did one time a game of like we picked like a game that we could think of that was like our worst game, and
I don't even
Bravo
think it was
did.
an episode that we aired. I think it was when we scrapped.
Yeah, I don't know. We did this at some point, and Joe and I were talking about these two games that we thought were like some of the worst games we ever played. And I was talking about Man vs. Wild on the PlayStation 3. And after talking about it, I'm like, you know what? I should own this game because it's that bad. I feel like I should because Joe actually had the game in hand.
It was the first Templar or last Templar or something Templar.
Yeah, something Templar. And I was like, I'm gonna get this. I got Man vs. Wild. I put this sucker in after I bought it for $10 again on eBay. And boy oh boy, it's way worse than I remember. And I think I streamed it on Discord.
Yeah, you did.
It had the mini game where you had to like move. The left stick was a bunch of like sticks and leaves, and then the right analog stick was logs, and you had to like cross them over to make a bonfire.
The amount of mini games that game had was kind of phenomenal though. Like
yeah,
they had to make so many different like UIs
the
for
snake.
the different.
And all it is just hit the A button.
I mean, none of them were good. Don't get me wrong. Like none of them were good, but it was freaking hilarious.
Realistically, now I want to retract it. Thinking about it, it's basically like Mario Party. It's essentially just Mario Party.
I don't know about that.
All right. Anyways, yeah, it's a real bad game. I don't even recommend you look it up. Don't even watch a video. It's not even worth it. Oh wait, you drink your own piss in the game. I do remember that.
Yeah,
that was a mini game.
That's hilarious.
What a game! All right, Bravo. What do you got? Worst game?
About this.
My worst game of the year is Amazon's New World. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching this game implode.
I love it.
Chain reaction implode, because the stories coming out of that thing are crazy. So like the graphics are okay, cool. It's the best graphics MMO that's come out in forever. Blah blah blah. The crafting is okay, but there's a bunch of problems. Whatever. And then this game, like, people figure out that some things happen on the client side, which means you can manipulate them, which means people are duplicating gold and items and crafting. So the developers shut down certain aspects of the game, which breaks other aspects. So they've learned to duplicate gold even more. And this thing is just pop, 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 pop. Every day I'm watching these YouTubers talk about the different problems of the game. And Amazon will not shut it down. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because it looks so bad for investors or something, but this game is a dumpster fire.
We played the beta of this, and the fact that we couldn't spawn together to play together was the tipping point that I was like, because I was all on board.
Yeah, Joe,
to try to get into an MMO early, because I've never got into an MMO. And this was going to be the one. And then that single fact that we couldn't actually play together in the beta was enough to keep me from buying it. And I'm loving watching this game burn.
Yeah, maybe I'm too liberal with my money, but I decided to keep my pre-order because I was excited about the game as well. And I played it, and it's I think at its core, it's just a walking simulator. Like the amount of walking you have to do is just ridiculous. But anyways, there's so much bad with that game. If you're interested in listening to all the crazy stuff they do, just go to YouTube and look up, explanations of how this game is so broken.
I've never been so happy to see a game fail. All because of like the one little wrongdoing they did to me. I just want to watch it burn.
Yeah.
They caused me such a minor inconvenience that I downloaded the game to play with my friend and couldn't play with my friend. And now Amazon, I hope they go under.
They might. I heard they're doing pretty poor.
Oh yeah.
All right, so
spent like $2 too much and dropped under one of his teen billions and had to wait half a second for it to go back over.
Poor Bezos. Poor Bezos. All right, moving on to the final, and I guess it would be most anticipated. Drum roll.
Drum roll,
Config
please.
music, whatever.
No,
it
the
is.
most anticipated was Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Most anticipated. I can't speak. Most anticipated reward or
the
word, right?
Envision Game of the Year.
For us. Okay, so bravo.
To no one's surprise, if you've been listening from the get-go of this podcast and you tallied up all the different games that I've selected, you will know that It Takes Two took several of the categories. Thus, it must be the game of the year. That's
Good
it.
game. Worthy, deserving. Bravo had like the least surprising of the three, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Bravo chose the game of the year that won
Game of the year.
awards. Yeah, so guess it's even though I still think it's a good choice.
Brad goes second because I feel like it's second most expected.
It's only expected because it's me.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like yours has more of a shot than mine does by quite a country mile.
Yeah. So I chose Diablo 2 Resurrected just because it's a remake of Diablo 2. It's literally the reason why. In reality, game, if it wasn't Diablo 2, game would be probably in worst game of the year category because of the release that it had. It was an absolute dumpster fire. But
it's so funny how that game released. Like, we got in fine, and then we were playing, and then we were just like, oh, I can't equip a new weapon. And then it died, and we were like, yeah, new game, server issues. And then we got back in and played through the entire game without an issue. And then, like, we stopped playing, and everything went to hell.
Oh, yeah. And then it just continued on for like 2 months.
Yeah, it's but we just hit like both of the perfect times.
Yeah, it was like new news is if you have it on console, you physically cannot play the game right now.
Yeah, it was wild. Like they pushed an update, and the update was to fix the issues of the basically servers not
Brad,
working at all.
You know we're in the best game of the year category now, right?
Yeah. I'm just venting. Anyways, but yeah, it's Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is my favorite game of all time, and
you have to play a new version of it.
Yeah, I got to see it with shiny new graphics. So, simple as that, pretty much. Honestly, I probably would have had a better experience if you guys weren't into it at all and didn't want to play it, because I would have just played single player and not had to deal with the server crap. So I probably wouldn't have even known. I wouldn't have even known that like there were issues and stuff like that. But no, once this patch comes out and they put ladder out, I wouldn't mind. I don't know if you guys would want to play or whatever, but wouldn't be terrible. Hop on, see you. Maybe there's some new builds and stuff. Try some things out that'd be better. Who knows?
Do you know when that patch is supposed to come out?
Whenever the ladder comes out, so they plan on releasing it early 2022. I think they're even thinking like January.
Well, if it's into February, I can tell you I'm not interested.
No, I'm thinking it's gonna be like
in January. I'm probably still not interested, but February definitely not interested.
Yeah. Well, so the only thing is it probably actually even sooner because I think they're gonna do a PTR to test out a little bit, see if they need to do any other like little small tweaks. So I'm thinking it might be even a week or so. Anyways, let's do it, Joe.
All right. So this was a hard decision for me because I play quite a few games in a year. If you know me, you know I bounce around quite a bit. And although League is my time sink at the moment,
Joe's I just want to say this, kind of like what Joe was saying there. He bounced around a little bit. He's kind of like the town bike of the Vision Game podcast.
Every game gets a turn.
He's trying everything out,
Whether it's bouncing to the original PlayStation or to the PS Vita.
How much have you played that Vita since I sent it to you?
I haven't beat Uncharted yet, but I'm probably pretty close. It's like my in between time. But shut up. I'm talking about my game of the year. I've been building up this speech, and from the PS Vita to the PS5 to the PC, but it's Nintendo. It really has my heart.
Who would have guessed?
You'll never guess, but Nintendo released N64 games on the Switch. So naturally, I picked The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword HD. Not related to the 64 at all, because I didn't want to pick Ocarina of Time because it was a crappy port. But Skyward Sword, I absolutely loved. I was really skeptical for like the first hour of playing it, but after that, I was hooked. And that game is, I really don't understand why people would hate on it nearly as much as they do. It was so much fun. Like I said, I thought that version of Zelda was wonderful, great, pristine, I'd even say. But it's probably, so I'm like partially through Twilight Princess, and I think Twilight Princess Zelda also looks really cool. But I haven't dealt with her enough to like actually get a feel for the character. But Skyward Sword Zelda, probably at this point, without being deep into Twilight Princess, is my favorite Zelda. Period.
Strong words. Yeah.
The character Zelda, not the game. Ocarina is still my baby. You know how they did that like game of all time or whatever for the golden joysticks? Ocarina, not Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, we're going back a little bit. Totally forgot because we got into ranting a little bit. Bravo, I saw you had a game listed and you deleted it last minute. You know what I'm talking about here?
Oh yeah, I had one in Best of the Backlog as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you actually play it or no?
No, not at all.
Well, never mind. Just forget me.
The only thing I played was with Joe, the multiplayer, Winback multiplayer, and all you have to do is hit the aim button, and it'll auto lock on the other person, no matter where they are in the map.
Go.
Now tell me. You play a little bit of it. Is that game not amazing?
It is amazing that it ever made it out of whatever testing they had it go through.
It's funny because like playing multiplayer games on the Switch N64 machine, like you play split screen on your own Switch. So me and Bravo are sitting there fighting each other, and I'm yelling at him, "No screen peeking." Meanwhile, I'm just holding in the trigger locked onto him. And then he eventually screen peeks and he goes, "What are you doing? How do you just know where I am?" I just tell him, hold in aim, and it goes right to me, and he just starts busting out laughing.
Just stick my little
And
noggin.
he kept peeking out from the wall and trying to go back, and every time I'd just tap him.
Yeah, I kept peeking around the corner, and he keeps popping me. I'm like, man, what's happening? Oh man. Well,
That
folks,
game's so bad. Can I
Yeah.
change my worst game of the year?
Worst game of the year. That's freaking
Every year
20
since 1990, whatever.
Take offense to this. All of this.
Oh,
It's my
boy.
baby.
I need you to get like a complete inbox sealed copy of Winback, Brad, and like frame it
No.
and case it in gold.
No.
Get gold plating put over it.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that was a lot of fun. This was Envision Gaming's Game Awards. All right.
Year in review.
Year in review. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I want to know what your game of the year is. Go ahead and drop that in the comments below. Let us know if we missed anything of the other categories. You can yell at us on Twitter at envision_org. You can join us here in the Discord. All the social links are in the description down below. I love you. Have a lovely Christmas if you don't hear from us until after Christmas. Have a lovely time. Call your mother. Actually,
Oh, you love her.
go see your mother. It's Christmas. You monsters.